Hello and welcome to yet another behind the scenes video, which today will be focused on my recent shoot with Lindfjeld in an outdoor setting she's been wanting to shoot at for such a long time. This is far from our first photo shoot ever, which you already know, but we have an annual tradition of doing a photo shoot whenever her birthday gets near. So we headed to Faxe in Denmark and had a blast shooting in this desert-like environment. Before we really get into details with the shoot, I have to warn about some minor issues with the sound due to heavy wind in the area. I've compressed the audio as much as possible to make our dialogue as clear as possible, but it's far from perfect, so please bear in mind. I apologize in advance. So let's jump straight to it. First of all, we had to find a suitable location to do the first set of photos, since the place is actually still active and on a daily basis being used for workers with heavy machinery, etc. So the first task was to find a little isolated space, which you can see we found here. After a few shots, we headed on without the cap and did some photos with her standing in the water like you can see here. On these photos, I shoot with the Canon R5 with the Canon 24 to 70 millimeters lens, f/2.8L USM3. Yes. We then moved a little further away and found this nearby minor hill for her to sit on, facing towards the wind. Since there was water in front of her, I shot close to directly from her right side, but changed the lens to the Canon 70 to 200 millimeters, because by doing so I could crop out the background on the spot and didn't have to rely on doing it in post-process. By the way, the water might look very exotic or Mediterranean, but in fact it's freezing cold and only colored this way due to the heavy amount of lime or calcium. It's not safe to swim in these waters, so please don't go do that.
Jeg er også sejt nok.
Super sejt nok. Det ligner selvfølgelig stadig det skal jeg jo lige. Tavligt fedt og til at male. Jamen du ved, børnene skal jo lave de der hængebaner. Det kan de jo ikke.
No, you changed to this more yellowish/lime bikini, which fitted this pond of crystal-colored water. We were now more or less hidden behind a minor cliff, so most of the wind went right above us, and at the same time, I could use the cliff as a big reflector. Notice how even the light now looks, because I can brighten up her left side.
Lige i hovedet. Det er fedt. Kommer lige herover. Så kigger lige op på mig engang. Jeg siger 3, 2, 1.
When we were shooting here, a few trucks came by minding their own business, but smiled and waved at us, and we all know why. It was very funny to see them making great eyes when they saw Anne standing there only wearing a bikini as the only person in the whole area.
Så sindssygt. Ja, flot. Jamen altså. Look at you. Ja, alt er godt. Skal vi se. Gør vi lige sådan her.
Det var sådan gamle...
Ja. Det er fucking flot her. Noget fedt lys.
We then changed the setting a bit, moving away from the pale blue water and into the more rocky kind of vibe, which I thought a more street-like clothing would fit the mood. Therefore, Anne changed to denim shorts, cap, sneaks, and sunglasses. The cool thing about this setup was that she could freely move around both at the ground but also up on the pile of lime. At this point, the sun was coming in from her right, my left, and by telling her to angle herself just slightly, we could get some awesome highlights yet even shadow on her front.
Præcis. Sådan der, og så gør vi lige sådan der. Bare lige for at prøve det. Ja, det sidder du ikke på stenen, ja. Og du vil ikke sidde på stenen.
Jeg kan også godt sidde på stenen.
Ja. Gør lige sådan her, bare lige for at få. Ja. Og der, prøv at gøre det igen. Skyd til hovedet der. Ja, sådan der, lige præcis. Det er fucking fedt. Der er simpelthen så meget lys, at den faktisk har svært. Der. Prøv lige at skyde det herfra. Så prøv at dreje dig, hvis du kommer med herover en gang. Så skyder vi en lille smule på skrå, sådan der.
Here you see me moving Anne to a point on which I shoot directly towards the light, getting some nice lens flares in the upper part of the photo, and at the same time highlighting her beautiful red hair from behind.
Because we're just kind of wild.
Crazy typer. Det er fe. Ja. Ej, der er bare 9000 grader, når vinden ikke er. Altså, det er så nice. Kæft, det er godt. Sådan der.
Jeg er fyldt med kalk.
Ja. Jeg har chancede sko.
Lastly, at the end of the shoot, we did things with water. In fact, every time you work with models in water, always do this as the last thing before wrapping up and heading home, since it normally is a messy thing. As you can see, Anne did wet up her t-shirt and put it back on to get some transparent texture to work with. A classic see-through look, and it still works like a charm.
Kæmpe situation. Og det gider ikke mere.
After that, we packed out stuff and headed back to the car.
Men kan vide, om det er mig, eller...
Hope you liked the video. See you next time.